If you all could please check your cell phones and make sure they're silenced.
That's a nice new thing there. I like that. I mean, it's a little different than it.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-service meditation here at the Center for Spiritual Living. Hello to all of you who are here and to those of you who are online. My name is Sharon Tice, and I am the practitioner of the day. This morning, we will meditate upon the words of the Indian sage, Papaji. According to Papaji, simply sit down, keep quiet for one moment. This is the moment that you need. This is the moment of rest. Keep quiet for a moment without going into any past and future, and you will find relaxation. So let us relax into our chairs, close our eyes, or keep a soft gaze. Scan your body for any areas of tension and focus on relaxing those areas. Plant your feet softly on the floor and focus on your soft, even breathing. Find peace in your mind, for according to Papaji, if there is peace in your mind, you will find peace with everybody. If your mind is agitated, you will find agitation everywhere. So, first find peace within you, and you will see this inner peace reflected everywhere else. You are this peace. The ocean doesn't complain about the dance of a million waves. So don't be concerned with the rise and fall of thoughts. According to Papa G, the purpose of life is to be at peace, to love all beings, and know who you are. And as you begin to open your eyes and return to the room, remember, you are happiness. You are peace. Be kind to yourself, open to your heart, and simply be. Namaste.
Greetings, everyone. Would you please rise? Okay, so we're going to open up today by blessing everything. Everything, blessing everything. Open up and let your heart sing. Go ahead, feel the joy it brings when we're blessing everything. Everything, blessing everything. Open up and let your heart sing. Go ahead, feel the joy it brings when we're blessing everything. Take a walk down my street. Say hello to everyone I meet. And the sun shines on my dancing feet. I'm just blessing everything. Everything, blessing everything. Open up and let your heart sing. Go ahead, feel the joy it brings when we're blessing everything. Hold the world in my hand. It's so much I don't understand. Still I'm doing the best I can. I'm just blessing everything. Yeah. Everything, blessing everything. Open up and let your heart sing. Go ahead, feel the joy it brings when we're blessing everything. Make things right, gonna pray with all my might. The darkest days will be filled with light when we're blessing everything. Everything, blessing everything. Open up and let your heart sing. Go ahead, feel the joy it brings when we're blessing everything. Turn around next to the person and bless them. Blessing everything. Open up and let your heart sing. Go ahead, feel the joy it brings. Blessing everything.
Good morning, blessed everything. We get a little bit of sunshine, we get a little bit of rain, we get a little bit of snow, because here in Prescott, it can't make up its mind, even though officially we all know spring is here. Why? Because the days are longer, the birds are out there, things are coming up. I've got daffodils in my yard. Everything's good, everything's good. So welcome, everybody. My name is John Haas. I'm one of the licensed professional practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living. And if you're here in the center, that's great because you get the real show. If you're out somewhere else at some other time, some other place, well, it's a tiny little screen and it's not as much fun. So come visit us. Here we have tools, classes, circles, congregation, all sorts of things going on every week, all the time. But today's a special day, right? In so many ways, every day is a special day. But today, what do we have? Palm Sunday, right? We've got a lunar eclipse starting at 10 o'clock tonight, going till maximum 12 p.m. our time. So go outside and wake yourself up, set an alarm. We have the beginnings of spring, even though we woke up this morning to a little bit of cool air. But I have, of course, my outfit, special new shirt with vertical slimming. But we're blessed to be here, and it's great to have a pre-service meditation by Sharon where she reminded us about the way that we live in love. And so I think she's going to help us remember that.
Thank you, John. Let us begin with our invocation. For what I know is whether we are gathered together in this sanctuary this morning or at home viewing this online, we are blessed to be a part of the one who is the all. All things are a part of this one being, this Spirit, this God. God is all there is. This all is with us this morning as we sing and pray and listen. We are blessed. And so it is.
So it is.
So you ready to go? I think you all know the song, so I want to hear some beautiful voices singing along with this one. Because it is spring, you know.
It is spring. And even if it's cloudy, in this song it's metaphors, abundant. You'll love it.
Oh, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind.
It's gonna be a
bright,
bright sunshiny day.
It's gonna be a bright sunshiny day. Oh yes, I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright sunshiny day. Look over yonder, nothing but blue sky.
Blue sky.
Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. Now I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright sunshiny day.
Thank you, Tom and Krista. Our reading this morning is written by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said, "Never lose an opportunity of seeing anything that is beautiful, for beauty is God's handwriting, a wayside sacrament. Welcome it in every fair face, in every fair sky, in every fair flower, for it is an overflowing cup of blessings." And so let's take a moment to reflect on those words. Thank you. And now if the candle lighters could come up. The Center for Spiritual Living Prescott, guided by the science of mind, acknowledges the diverse faiths and spiritual traditions that enrich our world. Each belief system offers a distinct understanding of the mysteries of existence and a unique connection with the divine. Lighting these candles symbolizes our collective reverence for the diverse paths humans take in seeking meaning and purpose. In this shared moment, we affirm and celebrate the multiplicity of the human experience. We light a candle for Christianity based on teachings of Jesus the Christ, who taught the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within. For Islam and its teaching and belief in the one and only God, creator of heaven and earth. For Judaism, a community of shared laws, traditions, and family ties, which began with the covenant between Abraham and God. For Buddhism, the middle path of non-attachment that ends suffering. For Hinduism, the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. For the traditions of indigenous people everywhere and their close and sacred connection to the earth, the sky, and the waters. For Baha'i, the path of unity and peace. For the goddess traditions celebrating the power and wisdom of the feminine energies, including nature and nurture. And for the science of mind, the philosophy of life that teaches there is a power for good in the universe, and we can use it. Thank you, ladies.
We can anchor that with, we are here for God. Our purpose is to express the nature of God as love, abundance, and joy in everything we do. The good we seek for ourselves is what we desire for all people everywhere.
It's so nice to be here with you all in Centanos. We got Centanos. That's pretty cool.
So, a little echo and reverb on this one. I thought I would do a song for you today because it's spring and everything. This is a song I wrote a while back in my, in different days. And it was my song to the goddess that I wrote, and it's called A Glimpse of You, and I would really like to offer it to you folks today. Far beyond the universe, down on through the ends of time. Oh, is there the legend told of the goddess divine? Who amongst us has not felt the call from deep inside that quickens us and drops us to our knees? from when I was wise enough to know from whence it came. I searched throughout the realms for whispers of her name. Through the many false hopes and dangers on the path, I found myself before her door at last. And I only want to rest for a moment on the shores of the ocean of your love, be warmed by the rays of your sun, to drink a little of the waters that flow like a river from your heart, to drown in the blood of your tears. And I only hope to catch a glimpse of you, to pierce the veil and let your light shine. And I only hope to catch a glimpse of you, one glimpse to last me through my darkest night. My darkest night. Rada sita sita rada, rada sita sita rada, rada sita sita rada, rada sita sita rada. I only want to rest for a moment on the shores of the ocean of your love, be warmed by the rays of your sun, to drink a little of the waters that flow like a river from your heart, to drown in the blood of your tears. And I only hope to catch a glimpse of you, to pierce this veil and let your light shine. And I only hope to catch a glimpse of you, one glimpse to last me through my darkest night. And I only hope to catch a glimpse of you, to pierce this veil and let your light shine. And I only hope that you would see me too, and together we'll be dancing through the stars, and together we'll be dancing through the stars.
Yay. Thank you, Tom and Krista. That was great. Leads right into dancing, something that I definitely enjoy doing. And one of the things that I wanted to say is that here we are, it's Palm Sunday, and a little kid I knew, his name was Billy, 6 years old, he couldn't go to church that day, Palm Sunday, and he's not feeling well. The family comes home, they've got all these green palms, and they're kind of all upbeat. He goes, what happened? What happened? He says, oh yeah, we were celebrating Jesus' arrival today. And he goes, oh, man, and this is the week that I choose not to come. He finally arrives. So we can imagine the feeling that somebody might have when spring is here and they've been invited and then it shows up in a different way than they expected. And so today we're going to talk about our expectations maybe our past, what has led us to where we are now, and then the big question, now what? What's next? Where do we go from here? Because we're always awakening. We're awakening to the new, to the now, but every once in a while we get pulled back into the past, or we start imagining about some future that may not even happen. But we have this great way of awfulizing. Anyone else do that? You know, we look at something and we imagine a very worst thing that could happen. Well, then that's going to lead to this, and then this is going to be that, and then next thing I know, I'm going to be out on the street. So we awfulize. But we don't have to, because we can every day remind ourselves that as humans having this human experience, we can also tap into that place that Sharon was talking about with Papa G, right? We are an ocean in and of ourselves. We just have to tap into it, because a lot of time we can get caught up in little minutia. So I thought it would be good to step into this year's theme is called A Grand Rising. Sounds good, right? A grand rising. And what a great time in the spring to think about that grand rising. I plant bulbs every fall, and it's added to the bulbs that are already there. So I've got irises coming up, and I've got all these daffodils coming up. I had a few little crocuses, but they're so come and gone that, you know, I'm wondering, is it worth it next year to do it again? But I probably will, because they have a little sprig of bluish purple, you know, and then whoosh, gone. Like a rainbow, right? The purple part of the rainbow. So as we look at our past, it's easy to recognize sometimes how it has shaped us. But one of the things we do when we're training in the classes here, or we're doing practitioner training, we're trying to learn about, is we keep on questioning our past. Because you'd think that you'd just be able to say, okay, I'm done. I've looked at it. I'm done. But it keeps coming back, remarkably enough, in all different ways. And some say, oh, it keeps coming up until you get the lesson, right? But some lessons are forever, because our spiritual growth and our spiritual life is forever. So why do we rush it and think that it's going to be over anytime soon? Because I've made up the world that has brought me, and probably you, to this very point. So I did sort of a retrospective in preparation for the talk. I said, let's see, what's important? What brought me here? And why am I still doing this? And what's next? So I looked back and I said, you know, there have been a few pivotal points in my life, and I invite you to do this over the next week. Think of a few, maybe 5 or so, pivotal points where you made a choice and it helped inform who you are today, where you are today. So one of the things that I noticed is that I had to start like a James Michener novel. How many of you have written? Oh, not that many have read James Michener. Oh, read, not written. I didn't mean you're writing an 800-page novel. But, you know, he always starts 50 million years ago. I'm only going to start 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago, you can imagine these people that have been thinking for 3,000 years that their king is coming. Their king is coming and is going to save them because they've been under the rule of the Egyptians. They've been under the rule now of the Romans. And they're always, it seems, under the thumb of something. And now finally, you know, praise, Hosanna, we have the king is here. And so we know the story, but back then, they were living the story. So they are praising on Sunday that we call Palm Sunday. And then you can imagine their disappointment just a few days later when the physical king that was supposed to change the world didn't seem to change the world. And so it would take years, in fact, lifetimes, to change that faith of Christianity into the world's leading religion that it is today. They had faith. Some of them were able to continue going because they said, what's next? what's next? Maybe it's not the physical kingdom that we're thinking about. Maybe it's this spiritual kingdom that is available to each of us every day. Maybe. So what's next took us forward in time. So what has this got to do with my pivotal moments? Well, I looked back and I said, when I was a kid, I was actually baptized Catholic. So my grandmother on my dad's side and my two uncles and my father, although my father claimed himself to be a fallen Catholic. So he didn't go to services, but he was willing to get us baptized so that Grandma would like it. And it turned out my Uncle John built the church, the Catholic church there in Casper, Wyoming, so that's where I was baptized. So I didn't remember a thing about it, little tiny person. But over that next 7 years, my life goes in chapters of 7, by the way. Over the next 7 years, I was largely under the authoritarian rule of my parents and teachers. And that informed me in ways that I'm still remembering, the be a good boy. And that's a tough thing to do. In Wyoming, you got all this expanse. If you just jump over the fence, there's nothing between me and the mountain. And be back by dinner. Would we let our kids go out there? I wouldn't let my little grandkids go running off into who knows where at that age, but we did. About 7 years later, because my mother was the churchgoer, and so she was a member of the First Christian Church. And I thought, that's great. Here we are, Casper, Wyoming, and we have the First Christian Church. I'm amazed that they put it here. Well, later I learned that actually it's part of a larger movement called the Disciples of Christ. And they have lots of First Christian churches all around the country. Imagine my disappointment. But I liked the coloring books, right? Because that's the age. And then later I was in the choir. I was a tenor when my voice came in. But as a rebellious teenager, just, the second 7, I asked, wait, why doesn't Dad have to go to church? He gets to stay home, he gets to paint the house, he gets to work in the backyard, he gets to do all these things. Well, they didn't have a good answer for it. So that was kind of the end of going to church, except on special occasions, So fast forward another 7 years, and my father says, I'm going to help you with your spiritual growth. And he bought me Transcendental Meditation. It cost money to sign up for these courses. And I was in Laramie, Wyoming at the university there, and they had a small chapter. And I had the great fortune to go down to Boulder, Colorado and see Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the founder of Transcendental Meditation. Each one of us was given our own mantra, secret. Can't tell anyone else because that will take away its power. And I remember my mantra today, and I use it from time to time because we now know that TM, like any meditation, helps with reducing anxiety, reducing stress, creating greater mindfulness. And if you keep doing it over and over again, you could become Maharishi Mahesh Yoga yourself because you could steep yourself in just this kind of a life. This is what the Dalai Lama said too. He said, if you just practice for 70 years like I have, you too can be a spiritual leader in your own life. So remember, it just depends on the path you choose. Now, what was next for me as a rebellious teenager in Casper, Wyoming? Mostly and chiefly mischief. We'll talk about that in another time. So Mary Oliver, one of my favorite poets, and I brought my books to back me up in case I need them. But Mary Oliver, how many of you know the poet Mary Oliver? And of course, one of her famous and beloved poems is called The Journey. And I think it's appropriate because it reminds us of our own journey and each day and way in which we get to become present to what we need. So I changed it into first person, much like we do with prayer. So I'll be speaking it in first person. She writes it in second person. So one day I finally knew what I had to do and began. Though the voices around me kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble. And I felt the old tug at my ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried. But I didn't stop. I knew what I had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones, but little by little, as I left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which I slowly recognized as my own, that kept me company as I strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing I could do, determined to save the only life I could save. So she asks us to not be content with where we are. She says, take a look at what you need. The voices around you don't know what you need. And if you let them tell you, like that authoritarian rule as a 7-year-old, when you don't know any better, in fact, you can't take care of yourself. But now we can. And we can continuously ask, what's mine to do? And she said, we can be a leader. We can be a leader in our own lives. Reverend Tracy's talking about the 15 conscious leadership habits, and we've talked about a few of them, but candor, integrity, intuition, curiosity, these are the things that lead us to stride deeper and deeper into our own world to save our lives. Because only if we are shining brightly can we at all be any good to everyone else around us. We have to start at our own front porch. And as the journey unfolds, each one of us gets to choose our direction, our path, the things that's important to us. Now, Maharishi Mahesh Yoga, he influenced millions, right? Well, fast forward to my 7th 7, and I was going through changes just like the world was. It was the new millennium. Things were happening all around. There was words and concerns. And they say that when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. Well, I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area, and there were thousands of teachers. So I got to sit with Don Miguel Ruiz and listen to the 4 agreements through his stories. I got to sit on the hot seat with Byron Katie. She asked the work. What is her question? Is it true? Can you really know, with a capital K-N-O-W, that it is true? And that question then turns around. You might get an aha in that moment, but it's possibly days, weeks, and months later when the question turns around and around and around in your head, and finally answers instead of questions start to arise. And then you can know better what to do, where to go next. So if we are ready, our teachers will arrive. They will come and show us the way. Now, during leadership training it was a 2-year training after I became a coach at the Coaches Training Institute in San Rafael, once again, in beautiful Marin County. So we had this retreat. We did all the usual leadership things. But we're asked to say, what is your purpose and who are you? So I said, after much work, okay, 2 years, I am the cosmological wizard, bringing a total waking up to me and the world. Well, that's pretty expansive. But you know, you can put a whole bunch of things under that sort of rubric. An entire life can be put under that total waking up. And who did I start with? I had to wake myself up. Not just then, but every day. That's the practice. Every day, waking up. And so one of the people that I worked with is a fellow named David White. Some of you may know him, W-H-Y-T-E, a poet and a coach to companies. And he uses his poetry to help jar people out of their daily world with poetry, because poetry touches us at a place where Charlie Brown words don't oftentimes sink in, because we've learned, oh, they're just talking, put it right over the head. But a poem can touch you. So this is his poem that's called What to Remember When Waking. In the first hardly noticed moments in which you wake, coming back to this life from the other, more secret, movable, and frighteningly honest world where everything began, there is a small opening in the new day which closes the moment you begin planning. When you can plan, it is too small for you to live. What you can live wholeheartedly will make plans enough for the vitality hidden in your sleep. To be human is to become visible while carrying what is hidden as a gift to others. To remember the other world in this world is to live in your true inheritance. You are not a troubled guest on this earth. You are not an accident amidst other accidents. You were invited from another and greater night than the one from which you have just emerged. Now, looking through the slanting light of the morning window toward the mountain presence of everything that can be, what urgency calls you to your one love? What urgency calls you to your one love? What shape wants and waits in the seed of you to grow and spread its branches against a future sky? Is it waiting in the fertile sea, in the trees behind the house, in the life you can imagine for yourself, in the open and lovely white page on the writing desk? David White invites us to look for that which is calling us. It could be anything, because each of us gets to think about what's important to us. Our practitioners are taking a look at a book suggested by Reverend Tracy called The Most Important Thing, Discovering Truth at the Heart of Life. It's by Adyashanti. He says, if we can find what's most important, everything else kind of vanishes. What's the most important? And even the very question got me a little nervous, because the first thing I did was I said, well, I can think of 5. And I said, well, I'll put what's most important in each of the 5 petals. But to narrow it down to 1. But then he pointed out that it can be a grand one. Something like the North Star, something like a total waking up. That can be it, and underneath, all sorts of things can arise that align and are integral to that wording. What's the most important thing? He says our inner lives are every bit as astonishing, baffling, and mysterious as the infinite vastness of the cosmos. As astonishing, our inner life. So we can be baffled, of course, because we see these James Webb telescope pictures and we think, oh my gosh, how is it possible that our inner world could be like that? But the truth is, our inner world is a mirror of the outer world and vice versa. So that strangeness, that baffling wonderment is ours to lead. We get to be leaders. We get to be conscious leaders. And as a conscious leader, we don't have to just be in front of the room. We can lead from the side. We can lead from the back of the room. We can lead from every part of our life by just being who we are, being integral to our own truth. Now, does forever seem a long time? It does. However, we know in this practice that there's only one thing going on and one time going on because it's all connected. So that forever is really part of who we are. As spiritual beings, we have a long time. I ask my students, what would it be like if the truth comes around that we can live forever? Ray Kurzweil, a futurist, says in his book, The Singularity is Near, that the combination of nanotechnology, genetic technology, the technology of chips and things is going to make it possible for humans 2.0. We could live forever. All these bones, they always decay, the skin goes away, but heck, how many people know somebody with a implanted knee? Anyone? How about a hip, a shoulder, an elbow? A friend of mine, she's got knees, hips, elbows, shoulders. So she calls herself the bionic woman. She says her joints are going to outlive her. She can still ski, she can still hike. She loves it because she was in pain because her bones, for some reason, degenerated at the critical joints. So what would we do if we could be forever? Learn a new instrument? Learn all the languages there are to learn. How many of you have seen Groundhog's Day? Right? He learned everything. After a while, he knew exactly when, he's going to fall out of the tree right now, catch him. So that forever can be a game and a life changer. But we don't have to live forever to live every moment as valuable and foreverness. Because then, if each moment you're fully alive, fully awake, holy smokes, you're living forever. Because there is only this moment. So one of the things that we say is that the way that we see this one power, this one presence, is as love and law. And so we can give ourselves to love because love ultimately is what we're after. And so as we look at that, let's take this thought of the now moment and what's next into prayer. I know there's only one power, one presence, one perfect, all-powerful being of love and light and power that is in us, it is through us, it is as us right here in this room. It knows that our purpose is right with us every day. And since that truth is true for me, it must be true for you and everyone listening to this. And even people that don't know it are being impacted by this power, by this presence. And what we do, the way we lead, the way we become conscious is our birthright. And so we get to choose what's next. And so we get to choose what's next. What's next for me? And as we live the truth of what's next for me, then that kingdom of heaven is truly ours right here and right now. So I know this is true, and I'm grateful for this teaching. And I just send these words of power into the action of love and law, knowing it is already done. And join with me in saying, and so it is.
Thank you, John. That was profound. Kind friends all gathered round, there's something I would say. What brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle, and it holds us all inside. Strangers are as family, and loneliness can't hide. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and the laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I've walked these mountains in the rain. I've learned to love the wind. Been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. Like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and the laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. When love is born in fire and planted like a seed, love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you're ready. Love comes when you're afraid. It will be your greatest teacher, the best friend you've ever made. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. You must give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
Yay, thank you. One of my favorites by Kate Wolf. So we like to give our blessings at this point where we honor the financial needs of the center. So we can ask the ushers to come forward, and you can give online, you can give by text, you can do like I do with an old-fashioned check, but whatever gift, if you put it over your heart and join with me in saying, divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, life. And thank you, Tom and Krista, for another one of your beautiful songs.
Yeah, so it's spring and it's a Palm Sunday, so I thought I would do a gospel song.
That he wrote.
A song that I wrote, and it's called "Wash Over Me," but it's also called Maya song.
It is.
And what it through that you're here when I'm doing this song today. That's really neat.
Synchronicities are wonderful.
Night in the desert, no comfort inside. I'm by myself, but I know I'm not alone. I reach through the darkness and I pull on your light, and I let it wash right over me, right over me.
It's pouring down, lifting my heart, turning me all around, right over me.
Oh, hallelujah. And I let it wash right over me. I walk down this long road of family and friends. Come to a place that I've never been before. I pull on the love of all that's brought me here, and I let it wash
right over me.
Yes, I do.
Right over me. Well, it's pouring down,
It's lifting my heart, turning me all around, right over me. Oh, hallelujah. And I let it wash right over me. Now deep in the darkness, no light do I know, but I hear a small voice, and it's starting to grow. And like a river reaching the sea, I let it wash right over me, right over me.
right over me.
It's pouring down,
It's pouring down,
lifting my heart,
lifting my heart,
turning me all around, right over me.
right over me.
Oh, hallelujah.
Oh, hallelujah.
And I let it wash right over me. Yes, I do. And I let it wash right over me, through and through. I let it wash right over me.
And we acknowledge this blessing of financial goodness because divine substance is the only thing there is, and I know that we are abundant personally and as a center and as a world. So I bless it and I let it wash right over us all. And so it is. Now, are you doing? No. We have a new person doing announcements? Oh. Right.
Good morning. I was so busy watching the collection, I lost track of time. My name is Kathleen. First off, let's welcome anyone who's here for the first time, visiting, or has returned from being away. If you're comfortable, please stand, give us your name, and tell us where you're from. We want to give you a warm CSLP welcome. No one. Welcome anyway. A special thank you to Suzanne Bloom for the most lovely silk flower arrangement here on the platform. Beautiful. Thank you. And Lee asked that I let you know that donations are still accepted after service today, and then even during the sale, during the 28th, 29th, and 30th, end of the week. If you find you have more treasures, please bring them in. So, and then also do whatever you can to ramp up the marketing and inventory for the sale. There are flyers in the lobby. Feel free to take some, pass them along to family, friends, neighbors, and anyone you happen to meet. And he requests more tables. So if you have extra folding tables you're not using at home, please bring them in. There appears to be a conflict with the April 7th date for the CSLP meeting. So the date has been rescheduled for Sunday, April the 21st. The meeting will serve as a 6-month progress update, providing an opportunity to review the center's achievements and address any questions or inquiries that you may have. To ensure that we've got ample time to address all of these effectively, please submit your questions and inquiries ahead of time by emailing Tom Kimmerly and Reverend Tracy. To make this occasion one of a productive one, a camaraderie and excitement, a larger food spread will be provided. And as we all know, where 2 or more are gathered, food will be available, enjoyed, and gobbled up. Now, let's bring in the kids from the Children's Association of Awesomeness. Thank you.
All right, it's a sale. What do you have to say for yourselves today?
Hi.
That's profound. Next.
Today we talked about how how there's some problems that we absolutely cannot fix, and sometimes we have to deal with those problems like all the time. So yeah. And then we made signs for the rummage sale. Yeah.
Yay.
What Seamus said, we made signs and got ready for the rummage sale, I guess.
Which is when?
March or
Yep.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
28, 29, and 30th.
What those two said. Yeah, I'm good. You can give it back.
There we go. Thanks. All right. On that note, what we can do is we can remember whose we are, and we can stand up and we can say together that something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is happening through my mind, my body, and my affairs. I think it, I believe it, I feel it, I know it, I accept it. Thank you, life.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes,
peace on earth. Yeah, the peace
that was meant to be. God as creator, we're a family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment personally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins